I noticed yesterday some of the messages I was getting do not come through on the software that I'm using, which is a real pain in the backside, but it is what it is. I went live twice yesterday, guys. It was pretty sweet. It was good. I had a good live. No, it wasn't yesterday. I went live for almost 2 hours yesterday, and then twice the day before because Sam was available. Sam is the head coach in our mentorship. Coolio, right. And I'm going live over here. Perfect. Seems like we're live everywhere. How are you guys doing today? You having a good day so far? Right. Okay. Cool. I'm all set up. Sorry about that. I'm wearing contact lenses today. Everything looks really trippy to me. It's very strange, but yeah, it is what it is. Um, my name's Sean from Seller Smart. I try to go live every single day to help you guys with Amazon FBA. We want you to turn it into a full-time income. Most people that we talk to do Amazon FBA alongside their 9 till 5. Quite a few people have obviously made it a full-time income. I'm one of those people. And Seller Smart is my full-time income. Solid Snake, I see you in here. Welcome to the live, mate. Thank you for joining. And no others anywhere else. That's fine. So yeah, the mission is to chat to people who have career jobs, the 9 till 5, and to hopefully help you guys make Amazon a really good side hustle that you can do alongside your job, and then eventually make it your full-time income. I'm just going to let one of our team members know that I've gone live. Okay, she's seen it. Fantastic. Cool. And I'm going to get my list of talking points. Yes, Solid Snake. Welcome, mate. Thank you for joining. Okay, right. I've got my list of trusty talking points, which I'm going to keep updating today because I went through loads of them yesterday. Okay, right. So, common Amazon policy mistakes. All right, let's go through one of the most common Amazon policy mistakes we see people making. And this one is for brand new sellers. So when you're a brand new seller, especially if you try fulfilled by merchant sales, a lot of people make the mistake of not enabling automatic invoicing to business customers or to customers in general. So when you make an order and you don't provide an invoice, you're gonna get an invoice defect rate. IDR, invoice defect rate. What that essentially means is you're obliged to provide them an invoice and you haven't done that yet. So for the orders that you've missed, you're going to need to manually create an invoice and send it to the customer. For the ones going forward, you can go to Amazon Seller Central and you can enable automatic invoicing for those customers. Super common mistake that we see people make. Amazon doesn't enable it by default, and I have no idea why. And it hits everyone. It's one of those things like, how could you as a seller possibly know that that's going to be an issue unless you make the mistake like we all do? Other common policy violations we see. Beginners will always find a product listing that they can sell and then go on Alibaba, AliExpress, Shein, Temu, one of these Chinese platforms, and they'll try to do arbitrage from a Chinese supplier. That is no bueno. That's not allowed. These platforms are selling fake, inauthentic products. You know, China's got no laws around IP like we do in the UK. Well, it does, but it doesn't adhere to them at all like we do in the West. So don't ever buy from Alibaba, AliExpress if it's a branded product you're trying to sell through the arbitrage model. Obviously, if you're doing private label and you're creating your own brand, pretty much the only place to go to for most items is China, but that isn't what we're here teaching. That's not what we're here talking about. We do arbitrage, and that includes Amazon to Amazon. So if you are going to do the arbitrage model, do not buy from China. That is absolutely not cool in the eyes of the Amazon lords. Well, what other policy violations do people make? So we've got the inventory defect rate, invoice defect rate, buying from fake places, not keeping track of invoices, so that if you ever get an authenticity complaint, an IP violation, or whatever, you need to keep track of your invoices, so it's really easy to get those cleared. And I say that speaking from experience as someone who's made the mistake before. I hosted all of my invoices on Airtable, and then I removed my Airtable CRM when we developed our software. So it meant I lost all my invoices. Really silly mistake. Reese did it as well. It is what it is. It just means I'm going to have to sit there for like an entire day at some point and go through 3 years worth of transactions to get invoices. But it's, whilst this is a fantastic side hustle to do alongside your full-time job, it is still a business. You have to treat it properly, and with a business comes tax implications and rules that you have to follow. You don't want to get audited by HMRC and not have your invoices in order. So just bear that in mind. Okay, I've got a prompt here saying, why do some sellers get banned overnight? Okay, I just want to set your mind at ease. That doesn't happen all the time. You don't just get banned without warning. Amazon will send performance notifications in the performance notification section of Amazon Seller Central. They'll give you time to action stuff, and they might send you IP violations, they might send you authenticity complaints, they might send you Section 3s. But if they do that, they give you time to action it and time to respond. As long as you're buying from legit places, you will be fine. You just need to go through the process. And if you are having issues with your account because of a Section 3, because of a complaint that you can't get removed, compliance violation that you can't get removed, then you can absolutely raise the ticket in our free Discord community, and we have an account recovery expert who can help you. Definitely do not panic though. There's always something you can do. There is always a pathway that you can follow. Haley, welcome to the live. Where can I order my product to sell on Amazon? I'm confused. Yeah, really good question. So I want to give you a high level overview answer to that question. So there are different business models on Amazon FBA. We teach people arbitrage and A to A and European A to A. I don't want to confuse you with what those mean because you're a beginner. Basically, what that means is we find products that are already selling, they're existing brands. We use software called Keeper and SellerAmp SaaS, and we find product opportunities that are already selling, that are branded, that we can buy from major retailers or from Amazon directly. We can buy them when the price is low, and we can resell them on Amazon when the price is high. So myself, the guys in the team, Sam, who's the head coach in our mentorship, every single supplier that we use and every single brand that we sell is someone that you would have heard of. It will be Sports Direct, John Lewis, Currys, Asda, Tesco, whatever it is, major retailers or even major supermarkets. You can buy products cheaply and you can resell them on Amazon. You need to be very careful when you're doing things like retail arbitrage from supermarkets because you can't use retail receipts or receipts in general. You can't use receipts in general to get ungated. Ungated means to become unrestricted in a brand or category. Amazon needs to build up credibility with who you are. They need to know that they can trust you. And the way they do that is by restricting brands and making you ungate the brand with whilst proving with an invoice. So if you go to a supermarket, if you do some retail arbitrage, just make sure that you're buying an ungate with a VAT invoice from a major retailer. We have a free resource. We have a free resource, which is the top 200 UK suppliers with all of their VAT information. You can download that completely for free from our link in the bio, from our Discord community, or from our website, which you can access, again, link in the bio. And we've got loads of other free resources in there that you can download as well. So for you, Haley, we have a free course. Definitely recommend you going through that just so you can learn the fundamentals. And very soon, probably, I want to say the first day of next month, probably. Well, I want to say the start of next month, we're going to be changing our paid course so it's more focused on the modules and it's more accessible from a cost perspective. So I'll let you guys know when we do that in our socials. Don't have any questions anywhere else. Cool. Okay, so how do you protect your account long term? That's a question I've already kind of answered in this live with the last talking point I mentioned, but let's go over it. So how do you protect your account health long term? You have something called account health. You have something called IPI, Inventory Performance Index. Sounds a bit confusing if you're brand new. I don't want to throw too much jargon at you, but what that basically means is your account health is your stability on Amazon. Anything above 200 is considered healthy. And every time you get a violation, every time you break a policy, that policy will reduce your account health. So the overall goal is to never commit policy violations that are going to hurt your account health. And if you do accidentally do that, clearing them in a way that recovers your account health and doesn't hurt you long term. So typically speaking, every 200 units of sales, you're going to get 4 account health points to your score. The more you sell, the more you keep your stock in stock, And the more you sell them through quickly, the more your IPI is going to grow, your inventory performance index. And the account health and the IPI together are going to affect your overall time in the Amazon FBA buy box. That's how you keep your account healthy long term. You buy legitimate stock, keep track of your invoices, you update your cost of goods in Amazon. That pertains to a different thing that I can cover in this live. You're making sure you're buying authentic stock. You try not to break any policies, but it's such a big, confusing platform that you're inevitably going to by mistake. And if you do break a policy, if you do accidentally cause an issue, just make sure you get it cleared by providing the evidence that what you bought was legitimate. Haley, what's the course and how long is it? Yeah, so we have a free course that teaches you the fundamentals. We have a paid course that's £700 and it teaches you the entire business model from admin, leakage, deep diving on sourcing, and how to scale the business to get to a point where you're making an incredible lifestyle from Amazon FBA, either alongside your full-time job or you make it your full-time income, depending on the person. That's a different dream they have in mind. We also have one-to-one coaching. You need at least 5K to invest, and we work with you for 6 months with a 50K guarantee. So it's really good, but you obviously need the capital to invest. And if you're not at that level yet, you don't have £5,000 to invest, you can put it into the course. The course, as I said earlier, we are going to rejig it. We're going to change it. We've got data in the back end now, so it's showing what modules people are actually watching. So we know what people want to go for, and we want to make it more accessible. But the course as it stands right now covers the entire picture. When we change it and make it more accessible, it's going to be a reduced version of that, only focusing on what people do. So if you did want access to the full course, you can get that right now for £700, but no pressure if you want to. Toy Connect, I can see you in here. How you doing? How you doing, Gravy? I've been meaning to talk to you actually. Sam and I wanted to have a chat with you about a call. Let me know if you're available at some point. Yo, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining the live. Appreciate you. Got a legend in the space in this call today, ladies and gentlemen. Toy Connect, really good place if you want to get wholesale products for toys. Be sure to check him out. Okay, right. So next one. So that's how you keep your account health healthy in the long run. Legend is extreme. Well, I would say so. I would say so. Um, how are you anyway, mate? How's business? How's life treating you? Are you still grinding away? I'm assuming so. I think I saw you pop up on my social media feed the other day, actually, which was cool to see. Good to see a friendly face. All right, so common areas that people lose money in this game. So your gross profits on Seller Toolkit, Seller Board, whatever app you use, your gross profits are fantastic, but Toy Connect in here, Gravy, is a really great example of someone who keeps on top of their admin and their leakage to the level that you should. Loads of people record their gross profit. They get very excited about the money they're making on Amazon FBA, but they don't actually keep track of their returns properly. They don't keep track of their reimbursements. They don't keep track of the customer damaged stock or Amazon lost their inventory. All of those things reduce your margin on an ASIN to ASIN basis. And when I say ASIN, I mean product. Every product we sell on Amazon is associated to a specific listing. Every listing has a unique code, and that unique code is referred to as an ASIN. So every product that you have will have an overall profit margin that is established by the sales that you do, your cost of goods. I should say your sale price minus your cost of goods and fees, and then also returns, lost and damaged stock. All of that reduces the margin on that product. So you really need to keep track of that info, because it's fantastic to see, hey, I've done 20,000 revenue this month. Let's put it online. That's great to see. But what you want to see from that number is, are you keeping track of your leakage? Are you keeping on track of your cost of goods? Are you updating them? And are you getting an accurate profit calculation? Really important to remember that the tools like Sellerboard, SDK, even our software, they are not an accurate way to calculate a proper P&L. A proper P&L is done with you and your accountant, or you with Xero, another software like that. It's a shame you can't use them as accurately as something like Xero, but it is what it is. It's a snapshot and it's an estimation. But your proper P&L, that's an entirely separate thing that you need to be working on every single month. Probably a bit too much for some beginners in the room, but it's still important to know long term of where this goes. Toy Connect, all going well, thanks. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Yeah, let's have a chat sometime soon, mate. I think Sam, I think, told me he reached out to you. Be good to have a chat. Mama Wit, shipping costs take away the profit I'm finding. Yeah, okay. So really, welcome to the live. So what's happening there, right? Is we recommend using Keeper and SellerAmp SaaS. So when I talk you through why the shipping costs are eating into your profit, I'm going to use those two softwares as an example as to what's happening for you in your scenario. So with SellerAmp and Keeper, I have settings in the background of SellerAmp that will take into account all of my costs. So when I send stock into Amazon with UPS, that's my inbound shipping. In my SellerAmp settings in the background, I need to set that as roughly 40p per kilo, maybe 30p, depending on what you're selling, but 40p per kilo means that every time I review a listing, it's going to be taking that cost into consideration. So if you're finding a product that you want to sell and it's 20 quid, typically you need to be buying that product for around £10. It's not always half. As the cost of goods increases, that the percentage discount decreases. But let's say it's about 50% of the sale price. So if you want to sell it for 20, you need to buy it for roughly 10. If you're only finding it for about 11, 11's not quite going to be profitable because of fees, shipping, inbound shipping, and potentially even returns based on what you're selling. So things like shoes or clothing can return quite a lot. So when you're doing your profit analysis, when you're doing your calculations, you need to be checking out what your fees are, and you need to be manufacturing your margin. So what I mean by that is, if I found the product at a retailer for £11 when I need it to be 10, what can I do to get that price down even further? Can I use a discount gift? Can I use a discount gift card? We have a discount gift card portal that you can access for free as a member in our server, completely for free. Can I use a discount gift card? So if I buy a £20 gift card and I get 10% off it, I'm actually buying it for £18, meaning I'm spending less money on the products. Can you get a voucher code that reduces the price? Are you a student? Can you use a student discount? Do you work in the NHS? Can you get an NHS discount? All of these things are referred to as manufacturing your margin. That's bringing down the cost of goods on the product so that it becomes profitable even with shipping costs. Mama Wit, please let me know if you have any more questions on that. Let me know if I've confused you or anything. I want to try and make it as understandable as possible. And I appreciate, whilst I'm not sharing my screen, it's a little hard to visualize sometimes. I will do my best to start doing some screen sharing one soon. I don't quite know how to do that on TikTok yet. But yeah, all of these things are taken into consideration before you buy the product. So I would never buy a product that isn't profitable once you've taken into account fees. In the beginning stages, when you're selling, in those first 3 months, when there's a probation period, you need to get to the first 200 units of sales. There is an argument that you could buy ungates and sell them at break-even price just to get sales data on your account. That's absolutely fine if you want to do that. But you honestly can make sales at a 30% minimum ROI and get ungated in that beginning phase. So whilst getting break-even sales is going to help, you don't have to do that unless you want to. Braxax, morning, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. I had to zoom in with my eyes there because I'm wearing contact lenses today and my eyes are still adjusting to them, and I got to remember to blink. I look at my PC screen too much and I don't blink enough according to my optometrist, or optician, I should say. Okay, so dealing with stranded inventory, that's a really big one. So firstly, let me touch on the topic of what is stranded inventory. Stranded inventory is when you have Amazon at a fulfillment center and it's not associated to a listing that you have in your Seller Central. So if you have sold a product, you've sold out, and then you've deleted the listing, and then you get a return, that return is going to go back to Amazon's FC, but you don't have the listing live anymore, so that would go stranded. That's the most common reason I can think of for a stranded inventory product. So what we recommend, we've split tested this ourselves. We recommend actioning your stranded inventory as soon as you get it. As soon as you see it, clear it as soon as possible. It's going to help your overall metrics in your IPI score. It's going to help your IPI score to make sure that you don't have stranded inventory for too long. Next, when you make product sales and the sale has completely authorized, it's completely gone through, again, we've split tested this. It is much more effective for your IPI score to delete listings that have sold out straight away. And if you're thinking, I'm going to replan that product and I'm going to buy it again, that's where custom SKUs come in. Every single time I buy a replan, even though I'm selling the same listing, I'm creating a separate listing with a different SKU. So to give you an idea of a custom SKU, it might be a 4-digit code followed by the buy price, followed by the expected sale price, followed by the person who found the lead. So it might be your VA, it might be me, and there might be a unique code on it. That's an example of a custom SKU, and that custom SKU will tell you if I've bought the same product 5 times, which SKU is associated to each order. Obviously, each order is different, which means each custom SKU for each order is going to be different. That's one of the reasons it's very beneficial to use custom SKUs. And if you're not doing that already, I definitely recommend it. And if you have no idea how to do that, we have a free purchasing sheet that you can download, link in our bio. Go to our website, go to our free Discord community, go download all of the free resources. And on our free purchasing sheet, you can keep track of all the things you're buying. You can keep track of your purchases. You can keep track of your suppliers, discount codes, whatever it is. And you can create custom SKUs for your listings when you upload them. Very helpful. Definitely recommend doing that if you're not doing that already. Okay, so let's talk about why some brands are just not worth it. What I mean by that is, We Grow Pro, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. So let me know if you've got any questions, guys, by the way. So when is it some brands are just not worth it? Okay, there's a very specific answer I'm going to give you to this question. It's when I'm looking at Keeper and I'm looking at the historical data on the listing of the offer count. So on Amazon, on Keeper, the offers is the amount of sellers on the listing. When I'm looking at the offer count, if I can see in a single day the listing has gone from, just as an example, the listing's gone from 20 sellers all the way down to 4, and it's a completely flatline drop off, that is an indication to me that that brand has issued an IP violation, and 16 sellers in a single day have gone kicked off the listing. Why is there still 4? Well, the brand might be selling on the listing. In that case, you shouldn't be selling it on that listing as well. But they might have authorized Amazon sellers that are allowed to sell on it. So those 4 sellers who are remaining, they are authorized sellers. Everyone else has been issued an IP and been kicked off. In the data, you will see that a listing might be live for years and there is only one sign of an IP risk on the whole brand. Even then, that risk is enough that I might not buy the product, because if I buy it from a legit place, I can provide the invoice and I can get the compliance violation removed, but then the brand can dictate whether I can sell the product or not. Sometimes you can continue to sell the product. The brand just wants to know that what you're selling is legitimate sometimes. But on the times where you're not allowed to sell the product after that, you've obviously invested your time, your capital, and your money, your liquid cash flow. You've invested that into stock that you can no longer sell. So it's just too risky. To me, it's just not worth the risk. If that does happen to you, do not panic. You can sell it on eBay, you can sell it on Facebook, you can sell it on Vinted. There's always a way you can sell your stock and make your cash back. The reason it's so important to do that, if you think about this, if you have £2,000 that you can spend in stock and £200 is tied up in a product that you can't sell, that's 10% of your cash flow that you can't use to buy products that will make money that you can recycle back into the business. So that has a compounding effect. Amazon FBA is very much like the stock market when it comes to index funds and things like that. You make your progress with it, you make your gains with it, you make your profits with it by reinvesting and compounding your growth over time. Just like the stock market, only it's with physical stock. And you can't do that if your cash is tied up in brands that you're not selling. So it's so important to try and get your cash back on products that have been returned, products that are gated and you can't get ungated. That's another reason why it's so important to make sure that you're always trying to ungate the brand before you spend loads of cash on it. Something we see at our prep center all the time. It really fascinates me. So many of the sellers that we have in our prep center will spend a lot of money on stock that they haven't tried to ungate yet. And then it obviously sits in our warehouse, which isn't ideal because we have a system where we get your stock in and out as quickly as possible. But from an operational standpoint, that is tricky to deal with. But I mean, for their perspective, they're tying up so much cash in stock that they can't sell, and they might not be able to sell if it doesn't get ungated. So I've always found that we've always tried to educate our clients, hey, this is quite risky, don't do that. But to each their own, everyone has their own risk tolerance. But I've always found it fascinating that some people do that to quite a high level with a lot of their cash flow. Just checking my other chats. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions. If you get any value from this live call today, please give us a follow, tap the like button, help us push it out to other people. It really helps us grow the channel. I really appreciate everyone joining as well. I can see quite a few common names in here, which is really cool to see. Amanda, I can see you in here as well. Thank you for joining. Who have we got? So I recognize we got Braxac, Solid Snake, Toy Connect, Manda, and I don't recognize everyone else. So Kashi, Glory, Hair by Kareen, Glenn, are you all sellers or are you just interested in getting started in FBA? Cache, I have one question. Absolutely, go for it. I'm actually working but supporting. I appreciate that. You're a good sister. Thank you. Yeah, Kashi, ask away. Please let me know how I can help. I'm here to serve. Okay, so in the meantime, so that's when brands are not worth it. They're not worth it when there's an IP risk on the product, on the data of the keeper listing. I've got a good prompt here. Understanding Amazon's algorithm. That's an interesting talking point because it is almost biblical at this point. You just have to trust the gods that the algorithm are in your favor. So I don't believe there's going to be a single person at Amazon who knows exactly how the algorithm works. I think it's so developed by AI at this point. So many different people work on it. I really sincerely don't believe there's a single person that understands how it works to a 100% understanding degree. We have split tested this in our own stores, right? So uh, myself and my business partners at SellerSmart, Cal and Reese, we were buying EU A to A products, that's European Amazon to Amazon products. We were buying them for a solid year from our software. We would buy the same stock, we had the same reviews, and we would sell it for the same price. And every single month, we would get different results. One month, the algorithm was in my favor and I would kill it. Another month, Reese was in the favor of the algorithm. Another month, it would be Cal. One day, it would be great for me. Another day, it would be bad for me. It is so uh, almost arbitrary. It's not arbitrary because obviously it's coded and it's a very big platform, but it feels very arbitrary. And I can tell you that it's not just Amazon. I know a very, very big eBay seller who operates hundreds of eBay accounts, and he tells me it's the exact same thing on eBay. Some accounts just get more listing visibility than others, even when they have the same reviews. And it's one of those things that we have to deal with as online sellers. We are selling on third-party marketplaces. Yeah, we're selling on third-party marketplaces, eBay, Amazon, wherever it is you're selling. We're here to talk about Amazon, obviously, and it just means we have to play by their rules, and it means we have to hope that the algorithm works. There are things that you can do though to increase your time in the buy box. So keeping your account health healthy, that's going to help your time in the buy box. Getting reviews on your account. Harder to do that now because you have to send Amazon compliant review requests, but it's still better than not sending requests at all. Having a good IPI score. There is a really good argument for, in the beginning, having a business model set up to sell fast selling products. In the beginning, you're just learning to buy and sell whatever you can. So I don't want you to hyper focus and niche down and make it too difficult on yourself. But the more you sell, the higher your account health will go, and that will in turn affect your buy box time. Where you're geographically located to the customer, that's going to affect your buy box time because Amazon wants to get the stock to them as soon as possible. All of these things determine whether you get time in the buy box, and the algorithm is driving that. So if you're trying to understand it, just follow the prerequisites I've said just now. Just follow all those rules. Keep your account health healthy. Have enough stock on the listing. You can't choose where you're geographically located near the customer, but you will get the buy box time as long as you're patient and as long as you match the price. Don't undercut except in specific circumstances, which I can talk about in this call if anyone wants to know. Cache, what barcode label machine should you use to put on barcode label on the products, please? Yeah, really good question, Cache. In the link in our bio, you can join our free Discord community. In the Discord community, in the beginners chat, I've pinned a message. I'm going to type it out in here just because it's quite hard to say. In the free Discord community, I put two links. Munbim, it's a Chinese thermal printer. Munbim sell thermal printers for £65, or I think the one I got was £95. If you're going to do Amazon long term, Munbim are really great. Well, thermal printers are a game changer. Having a regular HP printer or a brother printer that prints out A4s is fine in the beginning when you're just getting started, but you need to get a thermal printer as soon as you can. Those are the ones we recommend. They're very good. Obviously, we don't make any money from that recommendation. It's just we want to tell you the best way that we know how to do this, especially for beginners. Farmer Cow, welcome to the live. How much do you support sending Amazon compliant review requests? Most products I buy, competitors in PL don't comply. Yeah, interesting. So obviously, just to say that we do the arbitrage model, so it's a little bit different to PL. I've bought Amazon PL products on Amazon before where, the sellers are cheeky. They'll leave you a little slip in the packaging saying, leave us a 5-star review. They're not allowed to do that, but they do it. So we had custom review requests that we used our own software, and before then we used SageMailer to send out. That would say something along the lines of, I'm a family-run company in the UK. Every review helps us grow. Really appreciate your time. That was really successful to get more reviews on product sales. In the last 6 months, I can't remember when it was. In the last 6 months, Amazon changed their policy and you're not allowed to do that anymore. Lots of people got banned from sending review requests for doing custom reviews. Cal and our team actually got banned from sending customer reviews because of SageMailer, which wasn't ideal. But what you are allowed to send is the compliant template. So if you use SageMailer, or when you eventually use our software, you are allowed to send review requests. They just have to be compliant, approved ones. They are less effective. They're not as good. I don't get as many reviews as I used to since using them. And I've spoken to other sellers in our free Discord community who have said the same thing. But it is what it is. Amazon, God bless their hearts. They do occasionally make it seem like they're trying to make it as difficult as possible, but I understand there's always a reason they do everything. If they have an annoying compliance thing that you have to follow, it's more than likely that it's a UK or EU regulation that they have to follow. They don't want people to psychologically manipulate customers for reviews, which is why they're pretty militant about not doing custom reviews. So I get it. Even though it makes it tricky, I do get it. Cache, no problem at all. I have that one, but I can't do the A4 one for that small barcode. Yeah, so what you need to do, you actually don't ever need to print A4 paper with thermal printers. What you need to get is SKU labels, and you need to get 4x6 thermal labels. So if you go to eBay, you can do this on Amazon as well, but it's cheaper on eBay. We're going to add this into our server at some point as well because we have a prep center. We may as well, I get asked on a daily basis what label should I buy, so it makes sense for us to add that into the server at some point. So what you need to do is get 4x6 thermal labels. So those will be the labels on the outside of the box that you put them on for UPS to scan when UPS collect it, and then you do Amazon SKU labels. So if you go onto eBay and search Amazon SKU labels, there'll be different sizes and stuff. You just have to figure out what's the right size for you. And you can actually customize your printer settings on the Munbim. So you can print the SKU labels, that are the small one, and the 4x6 thermals from the same printer. You never have to use the A4 regular printer. And thermal printers don't use ink. They use a laser to engrave the paper. So that's why I recommend getting them. They are very effective. They don't cause problems like normal printers cause. You don't have to pay for ink, and it's a lot faster with printing. So honestly, there are like there are three pivotal points in an Amazon journey that I can think of off the top of my head. One is getting a thermal printer. Two is hitting your first 1,000 revenue day. That's a great feeling. And obviously there's more in between, but three is when you go full time with it. When you can go full time with it, it's a very exciting feeling. I went full time with it straight away because I got made redundant from my job, but I've spoken to so many people in our community who've told me how amazing it is to go full time. And Sam has a really good story. Sam is the head coach in our mentorship. Sam has a really good story of him quadrupling his revenue as soon as he was able to go full time. And that's just because you have so much more time to focus on it. Cache, no problem at all. No problem at all. Yeah, welcome to the live. I think I've have we followed you? I've given you a follow, Cache. Anyone in the live again, if you don't mind, give us a follow. If you want to ask any questions, do let us know. If you want to talk to us in the DMs, if you want to talk to us about our one-to-one mentorship, if you want to talk to us about hiring a VA, a prep center, we can't message you back unless you give us a follow. So give us a follow, join the free Discord, be sure to jump in. We'll ask you a few questions as you come into the Discord. Discord has a lot of scammers, so that was one way we filtered those out. We've now got over 1,400 members in the Discord, and we're trying really hard to get that to 2,000, so be sure to join. I know Discord is not for everyone, so we are probably going to do a Facebook group at some point, but we just haven't gone around to doing that yet. Oh man, jumping over from TikTok to Instagram, I can see. Thank you. All right, let's go through some more prompts. What have we got here? Quiet chat today, guys. Let me know how you're getting on. Do you have any questions? I'm more than happy to answer. Even if it's just chatting, like, how are you getting on with Amazon? Are you making sales? Is it going well? Now we're in Q2. Are you guys finding it's improved since Q1? So, anyone out here, anyone in this live call that doesn't know, there are quarters in the year, financial quarters in the year. Q1 is the first 3 months of the year, January, February, March, and then you got Q2, Q3, and Q4. Q1 on Amazon is rough for everyone. Everyone is broke after Christmas. People don't spend as much money. It's not easy. Q2, it really, really picks up. You find more deals, there's more offers, and you typically see higher sales. Q3 is really good. Q3 has always been really good. Exact same reason. People have more cash. People are spending more money. You can look into seasonal products at any point through the year that can potentially help your business. And then Q4, that's where Amazon gets rocket fuel. Q4 is amazing for sales. In the last couple of years, Q4 has gotten more challenging because a lot of brands have started locking down their listings during Christmas. So you have to be a bit careful with how deep you go on products. When I say go deep on products, I mean don't over invest too much capital into one brand. Typically, we say 5 to 10% of your overall cash, no more than that, because if there's a problem with the with that listing, you don't want to tie up all your cash in a product you can't sell. Cache, where can I go for wholesale, please? Really good question. Cache, before I answer that question, can you let me know how much capital you have to throw at stock, and can you let me know how long you've been selling for? Because I'll give you context of why I asked that question, right? Amazon Wholesale is marketed online as the pinnacle of Amazon FBA. Well, not every, 90% of the people we talk to, you're on week 3, fantastic, well done, keep it going. And how much cash do you have to throw at stock? You got 1,000. Okay, I thought so, right? 1,000 is great. 1,000 is a really good place to start for a solo person getting into Amazon. So wholesale is marketed to you, Cache, and everyone else is marketed to you as the pinnacle of what Amazon FBA is. It's very scalable. You can develop relationships with suppliers. You can just buy the same stock over and over again, and it's perfect. The reality, it doesn't quite work like that. Wholesale is fantastic, but it's better for people who have more cash. For you as a brand new seller, 3 weeks is brand new, and with £1,000, arbitrage is the option. Wholesale requires you to have a lot more cash. A lot of wholesalers will require you to have a reference from another wholesaler just to sign up to them. Toy Connect in this live call, he sells wholesale. So if you want to reach out to Toy Connect, that might be a good opportunity for you right there to get some toys potentially. But for most people, wholesale is not the option when you're just getting started. Arbitrage or A to A is much better. And in our opinion, online arbitrage or retail arbitrage is better initially than A to A because A to A you sometimes need to hold your stock. A to A is Amazon to Amazon. Amazon to Amazon is amazing, but again, if you've only got 1,000, you have to be very careful with what you're purchasing. You need to try and go for those products with the higher margins. Toy Connect, he's doing beauty toys and books. Okay, fantastic. I didn't realize that. Yeah, gravy. Let's definitely set. Yeah, no problem at all, boss. Absolutely. I'm more than happy to refer people I trust. Let's absolutely have set up a call, gravy, because I do want to talk to you about your service. Whoa, okay, I just got spammed over here. WAPXIS. Bro, I've sent you a mail just now. Please check. Hand wink waving, bro. Okay, let me check. Where did you send me that message? Person on YouTube, WAP, where did you send me that message? I can't see it. Ah, are you kidding me? Do I sound robotic to you guys? Hold on, let me try and fix my mic. Okay, I don't sound robotic. Okay, interesting. To some people, I sound robotic. To others, I don't. And I've been on Google meetings all day, and it's not been an issue. I have no idea why that's happening. Uh, you emailed. Okay, right, cool. Let me check my emails. Which email address did you contact, my friend, fellow traveler on YouTube? I'm just opening up my emails to check. Someone on YouTube has let me know that they've sent us an email. Let me have a look. You're gonna have to tell me which email address you contacted because I got about 1,000. I have no idea which one you used. Cache, yes, absolutely we do. So we have one-to-one mentoring. So if you want to work with us as a team and get coached by Sam one-to-one, you need at least 5K to invest, and we'll work with you until you hit 50K revenue. And a minimum of 6 months. It's a really fantastic service. We only have 5-star reviews, and we now have 105 positive reviews and comments from people that Reese is actually adding to our website today because we haven't updated that. If you don't have 5K to invest, we have a paid course that's £700, and it teaches the admin. It teaches you how to keep on top of your leakage. It teaches you how to source. It teaches you how to scale. We also have a free course that will teach you the fundamentals, and we are very soon going to be changing the paid course to make it more accessible but much less modules. I mentioned earlier in the live that we have more data in the background now to know which video lessons people are looking at, and I think people just care about sourcing. So we're going to change the course. That's going to be next month. But if you want the overall one, the overall course is really good. It's really worth the money. If you do want to go that way, Cache, I can drop you a message in DMs. We can send you a link. If you do have 5K to invest and you want to talk to us about our mentorship, we can schedule a call and talk you through that as well. To anyone out there who doesn't know, in the one-to-one mentoring, you get a one-to-one chat channel with Sam. You can ask as many questions as you like. You get one-to-one calls with Sam. You get group calls with the whole community. Every single call is recorded, and you get access to every historically recorded call. We've just started getting guest speakers in, and the first one we had was fantastic. He gave a lot of value. You get lifetime access to our paid course. You get early access to our software, and every new thing that we release, mentees get access to them first. We're actually adding a lot of really cool AI stuff into that mentorship very soon as well. So really looking forward to presenting that to everyone in there. Definitely worth doing, but you need at least 5K to invest. And obviously, we'll have a call to see if you're a good fit for us, if we're a good fit for you. Um, which which you have given on YouTube. Check it, please. Okay, all right. Sorry, guys, you're gonna have to give me one sec. This person's desperate for me to check emails. Give me one sec. Uh, I can't. Which one are you talking about, boss? I can't find your email. I can't see it. Hold on. Which email address do we have on our YouTube? Let me check. It's been a while. This might be a good question for one of my colleagues, actually. Um, mate, WAP on YouTube. WAP on YouTube. Are you in our free Discord community? Because if you are, just join and send me a DM on there. That's going to be easier, I think. I'm trying to find your email. Ah, I've got so many tabs open. All right, here we go. Right, which email address did we use? 80,000 views on YouTube. Cool, I need to get that up. View email address. Here we go. Ah, right. Okay. Right, let me check it. Do I even have that one? That's why I can't see your email. I'm looking in the wrong place. My bad. Right, I will check. Sorry, guys. Bear with me one sec. Someone is really desperately spamming to try and get me to check the emails. In the interim, feel free to ask me more questions. I will answer as I see them come up. Okay, I'm assuming you're. I'm not going to say your name, boss, but I think I found your email. Very clever. Yeah, nice. Okay, someone's just got me to pause the live to check out their advertisement for themselves. I love the hustle, mate. That's really good going. That's really good. But no, I'm all good, thanks. We got a social media marketer. We're not really smashing YouTube as much as we should be, but that's because we're focusing on Instagram, TikTok, and everything else. We'll get back into YouTube more. We're posting on YouTube. We're posting our short form, but the long form is going to come back in the near future. It's not going to come back right away. I love the hustle though, mate. Good effort on spamming there. Sonar, hello, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. That's another YouTube comment. It's good to see some people watching from the YouTubes. Okay, right. Let me go to another talking point that I have on my trusty guide. Right. So Uh, this is a question we get all the time, right? So, Cache in this live call was saying just now that they're starting with £1,000. Question we get asked all the time is how much should you start with? The simple answer to that is you have expenses that you need to pay to do this business model. The less money you start with, the less likely you are to profit enough to actually grow after those expenses. So £1,000 to us is the bare minimum of what you need. We actually did a poll in our free community and we asked the more experienced members what they would say. 1,000 members was the majority consensus. That was what people said they needed. 2,000 was the highest, was the second highest, and that's because it's more. But the more money you have to throw at Amazon, the better. Why why £2,000 or £1,000 is good is because it's enough money for you to make sales so that you can prove that it works. Once you prove that it works, then it's usually when people go, okay, where can I find money to throw at this? Because there's opportunity. Once you get an opportunity, you don't want to let it slip through your fingers. We're releasing a video in the next couple of days on the difference between starting with 1K, 2K, 5K. But yeah, definitely, if you're going to go solo, start with 1,000. If you're going to go the one-to-one coaching and mentorship side, obviously start with a bit more. There's courses that you can get. You can get our course if you want to, or other people's. And if you want to get one-to-one mentoring, just make sure you have enough to pay for the mentor and to pay for stock afterwards. That's why we say you need at least 5K to invest if you're going to work with us. Um, Oh, what is going on? The two people on YouTube are both video editors looking for jobs. Now, we've got a video editor, thank you very much. We've got a marketer. The people looking for jobs who say our editing is a bit bland, that's by design. We're not going for anything too flashy, but we are gonna, it's a split test. We were trying fairly easy content, and we're gonna add a bit more editing to it recently to give it a go. Thank you for the hustle, guys, but no, it's all good. We've got an editor. Appreciate your time, though. Okay, so we just touched on how much you realistically need to start. Um, I don't want to cover two basic topics because I know there's a few people in here who are more experienced. All right, let's go through the sequence of the tools that you typically will buy once you're getting to that point where you scale. So in the early stages, the only money you should be spending is Keeper, Cellaramp SaaS, postage labels, so thermal labels or printer labels, and maybe boxes if you can't find boxes for free. You will eventually need to get insurance, so you probably shouldn't leave that too long. Most people use Policy B. Those are a good insurance provider. You will eventually need to get an accountant. A lot of people wait a long time. An accountant is one of those expenses that actually saves you a lot of money by knowing how to do your taxes properly. So James Sinclair, who's a YouTube creator that I love a lot, he's fantastic. There's really good content. He says exactly what, well, I didn't get it from him, but I say this to people in our community, and I was really validated seeing that he's a lot more experienced than I am. He says this as well, is that an accountant is one of those expenses that you should probably get before you can afford one. They can save you so much money on taxes by just knowing how to do HMRC legally and above board. So many people make mistakes with their accountancy that cost them unnecessary money, and an accountant can help you there. Plus, you get a monthly P&L. It's definitely worth doing. So insurance, accountancy, Sage Mailer, requesting reviews is something you can do fairly cheaply. So that's going to come on the list as you grow and scale. getting a repricer. When you get to a certain level of listings and you're really busy and you're spending a lot of time doing manual repricing, getting a repricer is a good idea. Amazon actually has a repricer themselves, and I've heard some people say it's actually not that bad. So Amazon's own repricer could be good. STKs is the best in our experience. We've tried them all. We've tried the really expensive ones. We've tried the really cheap ones. In our experience, STK has the best repricer, but you do need to buy the overall software that goes with it. Our software will eventually have a repricer, but we're not going to be releasing it just yet because there's a few things that we have to focus on. We're still doing testing and we still need to hire a developer, and it's just yeah, it's a constant balance with cash flow because we're expanding our prep center at the same time that we have to expand our developer team. So you can imagine from a small business perspective, you've got to be really careful with how much cash you're throwing out there on expenses. Web Growth Pro, how do you do this? When you say how do you do this, what was that regarding? Can you let me know which point, which talking point that was about? If you mean Amazon FBA, uh, download our free course, join our free Discord community, join these lives, ask questions, get Keeper, get SellerAmp SaaS, learn how to source, learn how to do arbitrage, and to start testing. Spend about 2 to 5 hours learning and then just start testing and trying. You're going to learn so much by trialing, even failing. Um, I say it all the time in our content. It's so important for you to wrap your head around the idea that it's okay to make mistakes. Doesn't make you a failure. So many people I talk to are terrified of making mistakes, but honestly, it's part of the learning process. It's how you learn and grow. And analysis paralysis is going to be stopping way more sellers than people who start and actually give up. So if you can actually do some analysis, but then execute on what you've learned and start, it's going to be way better for you long term. I'm assuming you meant how do you do this on Amazon generally speaking, unless it was about a specific point. Okay, right. Next thing. How long does it take you to get to your first 1K? All right, let's talk about that. So your first 1K, really important to talk about how revenue does not mean profit. Revenue and profit are very different things. It's even very different to talk about gross profit versus net profit. Let's say you want to get to your first 1,000 revenue. A really big target people want to hit is their first 1,000 revenue day, right? There's a girl in our free community, amazing, right? She's 18 years old. I've talked about her a couple of times on these lives, but it's because I'm impressed. When I was an 18-year-old, all I was doing was partying and chasing girls. It's really cool to me that 18-year-olds of this day and age are super into business. She started doing FBA. She was asking me loads of questions. I was helping as much as I could. Within 2 weeks, she'd done 1,050 in sales. To some people that may not seem like a lot. To some people that's going to be mind blowing. To me, that was mind blowing. 18-year-old, 1,000 revenue in 2 weeks, just starting, whilst doing college and working a job and everything like that. It was awesome. So how quickly you get to your first 1,000 revenue is entirely dependent on how much time that you can put into it, how quickly you learn. Do you learn from your mistakes fairly quickly? Do you, do you hit a wall and you get really discouraged and fall off, or can you be consistent even past the challenge in the beginning of just getting started? In the beginning, you're in that first probation period. You haven't got those first 200 sales, so everything you find is restricted and gated. It can be really demotivating. You've got to be really, really, really thick-skinned and keep moving forward. And how quickly you get to that first 1,000K is how much time and consistency you can put into it. So if you are someone who's putting in, I don't know, 5 hours a week, it's going to take you a lot longer than someone who's going, there was an expression that fits this perfectly, but I'm not allowed to swear on the lives anymore. Um, if I get a tennis ball and I press it against the wall, I'm going balls to the wall. But yeah, if you go really hard on it and you put 40 hours a week into the work, obviously you're going to figure it out faster than someone who just spends 5 hours a week. Christy Daniels, hey Sean, hope you're good. I'm very well, thank you, Christy. How are you? How would you consider selling on Temu at all? Or do you know anyone selling on there? Yeah, that's a really good question. So for everyone out there that doesn't know, third-party marketplaces are becoming competitive. That is a really good thing for Amazon sellers because the more competition Amazon has in terms of other marketplaces, the more they're going to have to compete and make it a desirable platform for you and I to sell on. And in the last 6 months, we've actually seen they've started reducing their fees in order to compete with other platforms. So Christie's question, really good question. Selling on Temu. Temu is no longer just a Chinese selling platform. You can actually sell on Temu now as a UK seller, as a marketplace seller. I've not tried this yet, but someone I know has, and they were saying it was absolutely wild how quickly they got to really good revenue. So I haven't tried it myself. If you're a beginner watching this live, shiny object syndrome is going to be a killer for you. Like chasing Temu, chasing eBay, chasing Amazon, it's not going to be a good idea. Focus on one thing and stick to it until you've mastered it, and then learn other stuff. Learn from my mistakes. I made that mistake myself because I had hubris and I thought I could do it all. If you stick to one thing, you're going to get better results. However, that doesn't mean I haven't heard good things about Temu. I'm watching that with excitement because TikTok Shop's been doing well for people. Amazon does very well for people. Temu is another one. If there's all these different platforms that you can sell on, it just creates more opportunity, especially if you can cross list amongst all of them. So literally everything I list on Amazon, I have a software called Joe Lister where it syncs my inventory across the eBay as well. So the sales don't happen that often. Amazon sales velocity is way higher than eBay's. That's why it's better in the long run. Again, I wish Amazon had eBay seller support, but occasionally my listings on Amazon will sell on eBay, and overall that just helps the revenue grow. It does mean you have two places that you have to focus on. So again, in the beginning, it's better to focus on one at a time. I cannot stress that enough. People were telling me that in the beginning of my journey, and I didn't listen, and I made that mistake myself, and I really wish I hadn't. So if there's one thing you can take away from the things that I try and convey in these live calls, is do not split your focus by doing loads of things. Just focus on one thing and nail it. I promise you'll get better results. Um, wow, interesting. Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool to see it develop. As I say, Amazon is a third-party marketplace. OnBuy is another one. OnBuy is growing really fast as well. One of my friends just got a really cool contract with OnBuy actually to do their back-end security. So I need to reach out to him. OnBuy, Temu, TikTok Shop, Amazon. I can't think of any others off the top of my head. This is all good news. This is good things for Amazon sellers. Think about this from three different perspectives, right? The more platforms that join, the less competitive Amazon is going to get because people are going to go off and do other things. The more platforms that join, the more Amazon is going to have to compete with them and reduce their fees. And the more platforms that join, the more opportunity there is for more experienced sellers who can list their inventory across multiple places. It is a really exciting time to be in online selling. And if you're doing a full-time job, man, I cannot stress enough. Doing a full-time job and doing this as a side hustle is so perfect. Amazon is without a doubt the GOAT when it comes to side hustles whilst doing a career job. And if you can just squeeze in time to do it through your week, you can and you will. I'm not going to promise you anything because obviously it's different case by case, but you absolutely can get to a point where you are making more than your salary whilst working your full-time job. So can you imagine doubling or more than doubling your salary on a month-by-month basis? Imagine how helpful that's going to be to pay the bills. Imagine how helpful that's going to be to actually have a life outside of worrying about money. Going traveling more than once a year, or even going traveling at all. Some people aren't even traveling anymore. I actually saw a stat the other day that there are rich people in posh parts of London who are rationing how much meat they're buying on a weekly basis now because of how bad the economy is. That's how, well, I'm not going to get political on this live, but that's where the UK has gone. So learning how to make money online, learning how to make sales and be self-reliant and be able to support yourself it was life-changing for me, and I really want more people to experience that. I do completely agree that the system in your country should be able to support everyone. Completely agree with that. But I think personal agency is so under discussed online. Taking control of your own life and your own financial life, I think is so important these days. And I think we're going to live in a world very soon where it's non-optional. I think we're going to live in a world soon where the standard, like working for a corporation, staying there for a long time, I think we're already seeing that that's on the way out. Now we're going to see lots of people with lots of AI tools with side hustles essentially with their own businesses. And I think it's going to create this culture of people being a lot more entrepreneurial. I've got like a real life story from that actually. That my fiance, I almost said girlfriend, my fiance is from Venezuela, and in Venezuela, where it's a very impoverished country, very bad politically, everyone is entrepreneurial. Everyone sells a little bit here, sells a little bit there. As humans, one of our superpowers is adapting to our environment. So I don't guarantee you, I'm very certain that when we're living in a world where job insecurity is massive because of AI, I bet more and more people are going to be becoming entrepreneurial. So if you can do that now, if you can get into it now and learn how to make money online, you're going to get ahead of people who wait and leave it too long. Just my personal opinion, obviously. Christy, do you have to be VAT registered on platforms you mentioned? eBay, you don't have to be VAT registered. Amazon, you don't have to be VAT registered. OnBuy, I'm not sure, and Temu, I'm not sure. There are platforms like Quigita. Quigita, I know there's a lot of negative press about them at the moment, but they've just started implementing a process where you won't be able to buy from them unless you VAT register. So gravy in here. I'm not sure if you knew that. It's probably quite good news for you. But yeah, they decided they require VAT registration. I don't know about Temu. I can look into that for you though, Christy, and I can get back to you because, as I say, we have a friend of the community who is testing this recently. So I will drop him a message and I'll see how he's doing. He does private label though, so I wonder how it's going to go. But he did say that he's treating Temu like arbitrage, where he's selling anything he can. Let me just let me just ask the guys in the team if they're aware about the VAT thing. Probably because of stock coming for EU. All Toy Connect stock is UK based when invoiced. Yeah, I think it's actually to do with as I say, through Quick Eater, this is not their fault. Quick Eater are doing everything they can to be compliant on Amazon. Amazon don't follow their own policies. They don't follow their own compliance. So I think what's happened with Quick Eater is they've got a lot of bad press recently from Amazon sellers because new sellers who buy stock from them have so many issues, whereas experienced sellers don't seem to be having the same problems. So I think they've made the operational decision to only work with people who are more experienced just to save the headache. And it's fair enough. They've had a very good business model idea. Amazon's made it impossible for them, and they have to adapt to that to survive and to thrive. So I get why they're doing it. It's a shame though because from my perspective as a seller, I spent 2 months, 12 hours a day for 7 days a week, 2 months in front of a laptop trying to find wholesale relationships that would work with me as a brand new seller. I eventually found one because I noticed the guy had a Venezuelan accent and I spoke to him in terrible Spanish. I was cheeky. I had good chat. And I had a great relationship with that guy, fantastic relationship. I need to message him soon, actually. But it was so hard to find suppliers, and wholesale is such a difficult business model for new sellers. So come along places like Toy Connect, like Quigita, like Eni. These are amazing suppliers to work with to get stock. Amazon just didn't want to play ball. They don't want to make it easy for these new re-emerging kinds of models. And I think I think it's because Amazon are trying to collect supply chain data so that they can eventually become the brand direct relationship of every supplier. That's going to obviously take a long time if that is their goal, but I think that's what they're trying to do, which doesn't exactly sound like free market capitalism to me. Definitely sounds like that's illegal. That's an illegal monopoly, but we'll see how it goes in the next 5 or 10 years. I'm gonna be watching that very with a very interested eye to see if that is the way it's going to go. But like this is a question we get all the time. Like someone was asking me the other day, do you think arbitrage is going to exist in the next 5 years? Arbitrage has existed since the dawn of man. People have been buying and reselling since we were cavemen. Well, maybe not, maybe not that long, but you get what I'm trying to say. Arbitrage is always going to exist, in my opinion. People are always going to have stuff that other people want. one man's trash is another man's treasure, as they say. Arbitrage is always going to exist, and I think that's true on Amazon. People have been saying arbitrage is dead on Amazon for years, and it's still thriving. The people that say it's dead, they just couldn't figure it out themselves, and that's okay. Not it's like anything, right? Football is really, really exciting for some people, and other people don't care. Amazon is really, really successful and great for some people. Other people, it doesn't work for them. Just the same as eBay, just the same as a career job. Every human is different, and you have to figure it out for you if it's the thing that you want to do. And I really try hard to convey that in these lives and in our content because so many people on TikTok are promoting the false narrative that it's for everyone, it's get rich quick and it's really easy. And I don't want people going into a big decision without knowing the full context. I expect they make better margins as marketplaces with third-party sellers on the logistics side. Yeah, I think that's probably true. I think their logistics side is market leading. Yeah, yeah, that's a good observation. That's true. They do though, right? So just going on what you just said there, mate. I think last year, 2025, I think it was 60% of the units sold on Amazon were from third-party sellers, and I've seen reports that in 2026 it's actually 65%. So that number's growing. Maybe it was 2024 versus 2025. I think I need to double check my data there. But the amount of third-party sales is growing, which is a really good sign. But you can actually look at the data. Whilst Amazon's platform is growing, and whilst the sales from third-party sellers are growing, the amount of new sellers joining is actually diminishing. It's going down. So there is a yeah, exactly. Good revenue there. Exactly, 100%. There is. I saw a really good video. Cal sent me a really good video by a company that has a private label software. I cannot remember what it's called, but their video was basically saying the way it looks like Amazon is going in the long run is it looks like it's going to be a platform for much bigger sellers in the very distant future, so 5 to 10 years. This is a theory. It's not proven. It just looks like it might go that way. But in the meantime, until we see if that's true, the opportunity is absolutely incredible. Growing marketplace, less competition, and more sales done by third-party sellers. So I think it's the best time more than ever to get involved. When I joined 3 years ago in 2023, Amazon, I say this, I'm sorry for everyone who's heard me say this, but Amazon on Google Trends was 100%. It was peak virality, and I still made it work very well. So now when it's less competitive, it's less in fashion, and there's more opportunity, it's a no-brainer. If you can stick with it and get through the probation period, you can do very, very well. Uh, I am Azal Gafoor. Hi, welcome to live. Thank you for joining. No questions from anyone on Instagram there. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Oh, I just realised I was talking for about half an hour without drinking any water. Good Lord. Okay, so I've talked about how the buy box works in simple terms. Don't think I need to cover that again. Unreal Club, welcome to the live. I recognise that name. Thank you for joining, mate. Right, let's see. How much do you have to scale to £4,000 net a month? And generally, how long revenue needed? Okay, right. So what I'm going to do with you guys, I'm going to ask you to do this alongside me, right? If you have the free time to do it. I'm not logged in. All right, hold on. I've stopped using GPT, by the way, guys. I've started using Claude. It's just unreal. Claude is just unbelievably good. If you're not utilizing AI in your business, please absolutely get into it. It's so good. This is one of the things that we teach in our mentorship. Sam has a call. He has a call right now. He's having a live call with our mentorship group about utilizing AI. I'm just logging into Claude. Just give me one sec. Unreal Club. I am going to answer your question, but I want to go. I want to prompt it with you just so you can see. Okay, right. I've got Claude open. Right. So you asked, how much do you have to scale to do £4,000 net a month? Right. So do this alongside me. So go to GPT, go to the LLM that you're using. Could be Perplexity, could be Claude, could be GPT, could be anything, could be Gemini. Right. So you're going to say in there, I have X amount to start Amazon FBA. So I have, let's say £2,000. I have £2,000 to start Amazon FBA. Apologies for the clicking. I can't help that. I'm just doing it to demonstrate the prompt, and I wish I could share my screen, but I can't. So I have £2,000 to start Amazon FBA. I will aim for a minimum. Actually, I just realized I can do this with Whisper Flow. So minimum of 30% return on investment, and I will recycle my cash flow every 4 to 6 weeks. If I reinvest my profit every single month, can you map out what that looks like over a 12-month period every single month? Okay, right. So what I've just done there, guys, I used an AI called Whisper Flow. On Claude, I've just annotated what I just said. So what I just said to you has just gone onto Claude. Whisper just listens to what you say. It's a voice to text AI. It's so good, so good. My prompt says, I have £2,000 to start Amazon FBA. I will aim for a minimum of 30% return on investment, and I will recycle my cash flow every 4 to 6 weeks. If I reinvest my profit every single month, can you map out what that looks like over a 12-month period every single month? Oh no, I've just done co-work. Let me get off co-work 1 sec. Right, let's try that again, shall we? Boom, prompt done. Right, Claude is generating. Read front end design. Okay, here we go. Right. No, 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 no. What are you doing? It's overthinking it. Okay, I'm on the wrong model. Oh, for God's sake. Sorry, 1 sec. I'm being an absolute pleb. Keep copying and pasting the wrong stuff over. Right, while that's tinkering in the background, okay, all right, it's tinkering in the background. Right, so you as a seller, you want to aim for 4,000 net per month. Really good target to have. I like the ambition. A lot of the people I talk to in our mentorship calls who want to join the mentorship, they actually have quite low expectations. Whilst that's fine because it's more achievable and realistic, I actually think you should aim quite high. So for you, you want to make 4,000 net. Let's say you're going to start with £2,000. You're going to make a minimum return on investment every 4 to 6 weeks. Let's say this is a best case scenario on a 30% return on investment. The profit you make on that £2,000, you're going to then reinvest back in, and you're going to increase the amount of money you can spend on your cost of goods. What you need to take into consideration is that you have fixed expenses in your Amazon journey. So you have not only your cost of goods, but you have your subscriptions. You might have insurance, but let's say in the beginning you only have subscriptions. You have your Amazon seller subscription. You have postage labels, boxes. So you need to take out your expenses, and you need to put in your return on investment based on the cash flow you've done. I am terrible at mental maths, so I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to do mental maths whilst I'm on a live. I am going to wait for Claude, but it's doing me dirty right now. 1 sec. I forgot to add, I have fixed expenses of £100 per month. And don't make a graph, just show me this in numbers. Okay, right. Sorry, I was just prompting Claude to, I think it's overcomplicating it. Right, here we go. Right, so here's your 12-month Amazon FBA growth projection, starting with £2,000, 30% return on investment every 4 to 6 weeks, applied monthly, minus £100 of fixed expenses per month. So in month number one, £2,000, 30% return on investment is £600 minus expenses. Your closing capital is £2,500. Month number two, you have £2,500. Your 30% return on investment is £750 minus £100 of expenses. That's £3,150 closing capital. This is best case scenario. I'm not saying this is exactly how it's going to work. Obviously, things are going to come up. It's not going to be perfect every time, but it gives you a good estimation. You can even prompt it further and say, let's say some months I only make 20% return on investment and £200 of my cash flow gets held up because I'm gated. Claude will give you a really good idea of how long it will take to project out the earnings. So for you, my friend, you wanted to make 4,000 net by month number three end closing capital, you have £4,000. That's not net profit. By month number 9, you're at £4,178. This is a really good example. This is for someone starting with £2,000, right? By this point, you would have proven that Amazon works. And typically, what people do, as soon as they prove that it works, they throw money at it. You need to prove the concept, you need to prove that it works, and then if you have a salary job, you might put more of your salary into it. If you do side hustles, you can put more of your side hustle money into it. Some people go down the route of loans and credit cards, but we don't advise doing that until you figured out the strategy first. The more money you can put into cash, the more leads that you get that work and sell really well, the faster you're going to get to that number. And yeah, I hope that is a good example of how you can forecast out your projections. And just remember, it doesn't always work. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Troubles will come up, but I've seen it happen to plenty of people. Someone that I was coaching a lot in my early days, when we started Seller Smart, I was helping this guy constantly with FBA. He's now an Amazon coach in the space. He's killing it with his revenue figures, and it's because he was consistent. Consistency is by far the most important thing with anything in life, not just Amazon. Texas Dan, welcome to live. Very cool to have you here. So, does your mentorship work for the US? What we can do, my friend, is we can schedule a call with you and we can have a chat. I want to be completely transparent. We are UK sellers who operate in the UK, and the UK and the US are two very different marketplaces. But the fundamentals of how you do Amazon remain the same. So I can give you a real life story from myself, right? When I wanted to get into wholesale, I actually bought a wholesale course and mentorship from an American, really nice guy. I actually want to reach out to him soon and see how he's doing because he's a really great guy, a very big guy in the space. No free promo on this live, but whilst US knowledge wasn't 100% applicable to the UK, him teaching me how to source, him teaching me how to do the admin, all of that was applicable. So we can absolutely help you with doing that. But you're just going to have to bear in mind that we have a working knowledge of suppliers and brands that work in the UK. We don't have a working knowledge at the moment of US focused ones, but we can absolutely teach the skill because the fundamentals remain the same. So if you do want to go down that route and you do want to work with us, you can make that decision and we can treat it as a test run between ourselves. But if you decide that you want to go with someone in the US, I completely understand. I wouldn't hold that against you. Thank you for joining, by the way. I really want to go to Texas. It looks incredible. I think Austin is the new hip place, isn't it? Austin's become the new Los Angeles, from what I can see. Okay, right. So Texas, Dad, I will drop you a message if you want to have a call about that. By the way, oh, I think I've already got you actually. 1 hour and 18 minutes. Guys, I've been live for an hour and 18 minutes. Let's do an hour and a half today. Why not? Let's stay here for 12 more minutes. If you've got any questions, just let me know. I've actually lost the chat I had in YouTube. I don't know why. Hmm, okay. Right. Let's bring my trusty topics up. I'm not going to be able to do this right now, by the way. Let's say in the next 3 months, when I go on these lives, I'm going to be using our software to do sourcing. I'm really excited about that, but I can't do that right away. I'm not going to do that right now. Texas Dad, June to September could be hot for you. Yeah, okay. You probably can't see this from the camera, but my family are from Ireland. I am the pastiest white boy you will ever see. I'm that person that when you go to a beach, I blind people with how pasty I am. So maybe I wouldn't go. Maybe I wouldn't go to Texas during the hot times of year, but I absolutely will eventually. I can't wait to go there. Okay, right. So what have we got? We've got 11 more minutes. So let me go through some more talking points. And if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so I've got a prompt here. So why is sourcing the hardest part of Amazon FBA? And I think you can boil that down to expectations minus reality. Sorry, happiness equals reality minus expectations. So the reason sourcing is so hard is because people don't realize it's a skill. I think a lot of people coming into Amazon FBA, they think they're just going to jump online, find a product and be able to sell it for profit. but sourcing is genuinely a skill. You have to have knowledge on how to do it. You have to build up a database of brands that sell, of suppliers that you can buy from, times a year when offers go on. A lot of people coming into it don't realize that. So the analogy I'm going to use for you, right? You wouldn't expect to be Tiger Woods on your first day of playing golf. You can't expect to be Messi on your first day playing the football game that is Amazon FBA. I mixed the analogies, but it still worked. You absolutely have to put time and consistency into it, which is a very big theme of this episode of the live call today. I've said that quite a lot, but it's so true. Um, you need to be consistent. You need to build up that database, and you need to treat it as a skill. And just like any job, if you start a career job and you go into this new environment and you have no idea what you're doing and you've got imposter syndrome, it's the exact same thing with Amazon. I promise you, it's the exact same thing. So that is why it's the hardest thing. You start off, you don't have that knowledge base, you don't have the brands, you have no idea what you can sell, you don't even know how to read the keeper graphs properly because you haven't got that experience yet. So just don't be discouraged. If you're struggling in the first 3 months, don't be discouraged. It's normal. That's where we can help you. We can help you if you want to work one to one with us. We can help you for free with our free resources and everything like that. Uh, oh, definitely recommend joining the free Discord community and networking. Ask as many questions as you can. I said I was going to go live for an hour and a half, but I've actually got a call for someone who wants to join our mentorship, so I need to sign off. But I do have a couple more questions there. So, with the list of 200 OAs you provide, are these sourcing for sourcing or ungating? You can use them for sourcing. We have an auto ungate downloadable resource that you can get for free as well. It's over 1,400 products. Go through the ungate process and try and get ungated in as much as you can. And then when it comes to ungating, find the product that you want to sell, find the product that's profitable. If you're gated in it, then try to find the cheapest product in that brand, buy it from a major retailer that provides a good invoice and ungate with that one instead. You want to spend as little money in your ungates as possible. With your experience, how long can mediation take? 2 to 3 weeks, I think, is the process I've heard. The worst I've heard is 3 months. 2 to 3 weeks is about standard. And to anyone out there who doesn't know, Amazon mediation is a service that you can use. If Amazon is if Amazon is saying that you've broken a policy violation and it's quite serious and you disagree with it, or if Amazon owe you money and Amazon seller support are absolutely terrible, a third party can review the case, and whatever they decide, Amazon agree with their outcome. So that's Amazon mediation. So there's always support you can get, and anyone who's having account recovery issues, you can talk to us because we have an expert in our team. Web Growth Pro, hello, welcome for joining. Thank you for joining. I made 20 just yesterday. Awesome work. Congratulations. Well done. Guys, I've got to go. I've got a call in a second. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining the live. Join our free Discord community. If you've got 5K to invest and you want to work with a mentor, give us a call. Schedule a call with us about our mentorship. Check out our prep center. Check out our VA recruitment agency, Recruit Smart. Sign up to our waitlist and check out Toy Connect. He is a great wholesale provider and very trustworthy guy. So thank you everyone for joining, and I will see you tomorrow.